Thank you, and we want to thank East World Kitchen for the opportunity to host and present. And then I also wanted to call out and say thank you to our guest here with Chris with the Spokane Teachers Credit Union, who helped with our connection. My name is Scott Glennie, and I'm one of the certified business advisors here at the Washington Small Business Development Center. And then behind me are Ursula and Horatio. So the three of us kind of man this shop, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Washington Small Business Development Center in just a minute. Let me share my screen. Are we good? Okay.
Yusuf? Hey, meeting. يوسف إذا بدك أي بدك مساعدة في الترجمة
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it's no problem.
It is kind of today.
Okay. We'll proceed.
I don't have Yusuf.
Is he up?
Can I see the participant?
I see the screen. So that's the SBDC.
Yeah, he's not joining. It's okay, go for it.
Can we go ahead? Okay. So the Washington Small Business Development Center is a group of 50 advisors. We cover the state of Washington, and we're here to help business owners in our state grow and succeed. About half of the clients that we work with are startup. So just as you're here tonight, thinking about maybe opening a restaurant or doing some catering or whatever, we would be available. This is our footprint. So we cover the state of Washington, but the Spokane office is actually the lead office. And so as business advisors, so what the three of us do is we meet with business owners, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But in order to be a business advisor, you needed to be managing a business or previous experience in owning a business. Many of our advisors have gone on and have a graduate degree in business, but that's the skill set that we start off with. To be an advisor, you also have to be go through the certification process, which is a 6-month period. And so I feel like they do a really good job standing people up with the financial skill set, accounting and communication, and we go through a mentoring process. So I feel like the quality of the advisors that we have in the network is very high. The essential thing about our organization is we provide our services at no cost. Okay.
No cost.
No cost. There's no financial fee to participate with us. And this is kind of a list of the different services that we provide. It's really determined by the need of the client. And so for your situation and within our network, we have probably 2 or 3 advisors that do quite a bit of restaurant work. And so some of the topics that we've provided training around and we've done some advising around would be like how to cost the menu items that you're preparing and selling, right? How to design, what it would look like in terms of your price and kind of the volume that you would need to do to generate revenue to be successful. So we help people get business loans. So all of those are just ideas to share with you, but those are things that we do every day working with clients. And we understand the restaurant business is specific. Your needs are very specific, and so we have people that I think are experts in that area.
Yeah.
We also provide some training services, and many of our training services are recorded. And so we make those available, just as we will tonight with this session. You know, kind of how it works, when we meet with clients, we invite them in either through a Zoom call or meeting in person. I prefer in-person meeting, and so many of the clients that I work with come to the center here. And we basically have a conversation. I ask them to tell me their story, and based upon their story, we do a discovery process. We ask questions, we find out what their need is, and then we work together to kind of do a discussion and a collaboration on how to address that need and to build an action plan. And then the client leaves with a copy of our notes and a pretty good outline of what they could work on to improve the business and to solve their need. We're funded by the Small Business Administration, the SBA, which is federal. They pay about half of our organization's overhead. WSU is the next largest funder. We actually are employees of WSU, and then we have some other partners that we work with on funding and just people that we share resources with. As part of the accountability, we do a report out to our stakeholders. And these are the things that we measure: how many clients that we serve, trainings that we've performed, basically a client satisfaction rating, the dollars that we've helped clients obtain either through loans or through their own capital raise. New business starts is one of our metrics. And so that's kind of a summary of our dashboard for 2024. And then I wanted to provide you with our email addresses. And if at a future point in time you want to connect with one of us, you can send an email to Tom, or you can email us directly. There's a link that you can click online, you register. It takes less than 5 minutes, and we would schedule a time to meet with you. Yeah. Any questions about any of that before I turn it over to Ursula and have her start the training? We're good? Perfect. Thank you.
Feel free to ask anytime. We are here to answer the questions. But what I will try to do here is show you this template where you have step by step everything you need to do to register and start your business. Okay, it's just with the agencies. So I will go slowly, ask, and I will do some examples for you to follow. So the first thing that I like to introduce you is to this guide. So there is a small business guide where you can find everything you need to know, and you can go there anytime, and you can download the guide in different languages. So you have these languages here, all these options for you to download. The new one is in Ukrainian, so you can download, like click here in English, and you have that. Then you can download and save it in your files. I will keep this open because I want to share some of the steps that you have to follow. And we will use this guide and then I will use some of the websites. So I'll start somewhere there. I know that you will share this template, right, with everyone. So you will have access to this. So the first thing that you have to do if you want to start your business is choosing your business structure. Once you choose your business structure, then you will be able to register your entity. So if you want to learn more about the different business structures, you can go to Department of Revenue website, move here. And then you can read more here and choose your ownership structure. You could have more information if you want to learn about corporations, general partnership, LLCs, sole proprietorships. You can read everything here so you can understand and identify what is the entity that you would like to create. You can also go directly to the Secretary of State. And with the Secretary of State, you have more information, similar information right here. Same thing. You have more about sole proprietorship, general partnership, LLC, everything you need to learn there. Okay, this is just information for you to learn and make a good decision. So once you have that, you can also go to the guide and read more in pages 11 to 13 here. So let me go back here. And you can go to pages 11 to here. Choose your entity right here. So you'll have a table comparing all the different entities right here. What happens for sole proprietorship? Do you need to register with the Secretary of State? No. Do you for the LLC? Yes. The processing timeline for sole proprietor or for an LLC, liability coverage for sole proprietor or for general partnerships. So you will compare here all of the different business structures so you can make your decisions, right?
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
So do you have a sense of what business structure is most common?
LLC.
I heard LLC, and I think Sebastian, when we had a conversation earlier, I think you just created a legal entity, correct? An LLC, a single member. So picking the type of legal entity, part of it is the administrative burden, right? The advantage of choosing a legal structure is it protects your personal assets, right? The most common entity that I think is created, I was listening to a person who spoke with from the Washington Secretary of State, and I think the most common is a sole proprietorship, but for purposes of another entity, it's an LLC. So I think in many respects, people choose an LLC because of the ease of administrative burden, right? Any questions about that? I encourage you to think through that. A sole proprietorship does not require you to create a certificate of formation, but it does not give you limited liability, right? And I think that's an important consideration. Any questions about that? Thank you.
I would add, like usually for LLC, you wanna go for SOS before you go into the DOR, right?
Yes.
This is kind of important for them to know, like if you wanna build up LLC, you go register on Secretary of State, so they will give you a reference, so you can finish it at the DOR.
Correct.
Yes, I'll show that
Yeah.
here. Yes. And I will use that example with LLC. So once you choose your structure, then you have to choose the name and create your entity. So then if you create your entity, you have to go to the Secretary of State. If you are going to open an LLC or a PLC, sole proprietorship, do not need to create an entity with the Secretary of State. Only them are the ones that do not need any registration with the Secretary of State. So if we go there, so this is the link for the Secretary of State. You will find this link. So you have a couple of things to mention here. The first thing is, if you want to create your entity, you have to create an account first. You create your account and then you can register the entity. This website also helps you to look for a business. So I can look for a business here, because one of the things that I want to mention here is that when you register with the Secretary of State, all the information is public. Anyone can have access to your information. So I will look up for a business and I'll show you what you can find here. So I will look for Roast House. And I'll do Roast House LLC here. So this is everything that you can find. This is not exclusive information that I can see. You can see all these here. So you see the name of the entity, you see the address, you see the expiration date or the starting date, you see the UBI number, address of the office, you can see the business activity. Then you can also see governors. Governors are normally who is legally representing the company. You have to identify who they are, and you can see who they are, and you can see their names here. And if you want to see more about their business, you can go here, and you have access to all the information and all the documents they have uploaded. So it's for the public information, you can get access to that. I want to show you something. So if someone reports or files the annual report, you can go here. I'm sorry, I am just moving things from one part to the other one. So this is how it looks when you file your report. So you can see the name, the UBI, address. So a couple of things that you have to notice here. One is the registered agent. The registered agent is the person that is registering the entity with the Secretary of State. You don't need to have an agency or an attorney or a company doing this for you. You can do that by yourselves. But if you want someone that registered the entity for you, they normally will use their business address, not yours. Okay, so if you don't want to disclaim your address or the address of your house, then you can hire a registered agent and have them. They will receive all the legal information from the Secretary of State in their office, and then they will send that to you. But if you don't mind to share your information, then you can be the registered agent. Just be aware that you don't need to have anyone else. You can be the same person. So when registering with the Secretary of State, you are the registered agent and you are the governor as owners too. Questions there?
I will add a note for everyone. As soon as your information is public, as much as hacking emails and mails you're gonna get. So just be careful, don't click. You're gonna start, if you put your phone number, you're gonna start getting messages, text messages. Fill your annual reports and you wanna press it. Make sure when you're looking for the message, it's all .gov, either for DOR or for the SOS. Be aware. I have helped a couple of chefs and they were planning to pay, even they got mails. Actually, it looked like everything to this annual report. Everything except at the end is not, if you look in, you're signing for this.
Here?
If you're looking that, hey, sos.washington.gov, the other one is just .com. It's the same. There is, So just be aware, don't make a payment, take your time when you're doing those stuff.
Yeah. And so you can file online or you can file with documents and bring the documents to the office. If you ever want to file and you need some help, we are here to help you. I can do that with you. So once it comes to payments, I will turn around and you just input your credit card and I will not see. The cost for register the entity is $180 and $20 for the online fees. So once you register or you file the entity, after about 10 weeks, you will receive your certificate of formation and your UBI number. So yes, you will get tons of emails. Never use those tons of mails because normally they come from mails. Don't use them. Go to the websites that you know and you have access. You will have this tag. So use that information. Never use any paper addresses. Questions about the registration of the entity? No? Good. All right, so now, in the same day you register the entity, you can go to the IRS and get your EIN number. EIN number is something similar as your social security number, is the identifier for your entity. So not everyone needs the EIN number. So who needs to apply for the EIN number? This is the link, and there you can find who needs an EIN number. Normally is who will have employees or will need to pay employment or withhold taxes. But also, if you don't need the EIN for federal purposes, probably the bank will ask you or require from you your EIN number, not yet just the UBI. Do you use the EIN number? You don't? Yeah. Do you request it? Yeah. So sometimes you will not need that for federal purposes, but the bank or the entities will ask for that. So you can do that the same day and you don't have to pay.
So she asked for EIN, not the UEI, right?
UBI does not.
Yeah.
So name doesn't want your UBI.
What's the UBI?
The UBI is the number that identifies that you have an entity in Washington state. The EIN is the identifier for tax purposes with IRS.
Like your social.
Like your social for the entity. So, and as if you have a bank account, you get capital gains, then you have to report them, and the bank will send you a form by the end of the year, and you will have to add that information into your income tax report next year. So they use the EIN number. Then before you apply, and this is for the EIN, let me just go to the IRS form. So then if you want to apply for the IRS, for the EIN number, you can go here and apply for the EIN number. You click, we'll go to another website, and then you start entering beginning your application. Let's say you are LLC. I will not do that by deal, but you start filing. So once you finish filing the application and submit it, please stop there. There will be a document to download. So download, save it, or download and print it. Keep in your records because that's what they need. They don't need just or you can miss the number. If you don't open it and you don't read the number, or you don't take a print screen, you will not know what your EIN number is, and it's not easy to get from IRS. It will take you a lot of time and a lot of people to talk to before you get the EIN again, okay? So make sure that you download the information and save it. You can read more in pages 14 and 15. So now you have created your entity, right? 10 days, you receive your UBI number. You have to pay $200. Then you get your EIN with IRS. You get your EIN, you don't have to pay anything for that. And now you can go for your business license, but you cannot do that the same day because you have to wait until you receive your UBI, and you don't get the UBI immediately. You get the EIN immediately, but the UBI not. UBI is Washington State identifier that you created an entity. So once you receive that, then you can apply for your business licenses. What do you know? What do you need to know in advance to apply for your business license? So you have information here before you begin. It's, you know, your the business structure. You need to have your social security number or your TIN number. You will have your UBI number. You have your federal employer ID number. And then you have to create an account with SAW. There are two different things. SAW is a system where you can find information about your business in different state agencies. DOR, or my DOR, is just to follow all the information about your businesses and the paying taxes to the state. Okay. So we will work with Department of Revenue, which is in here. So this is the Department of Revenue. With Department of Revenue, if you want to get or renew a license, you go here, you click here. But as you see, you have to create your SAW account. If you don't have one, you have to sign up. And then you create it. If you go back to one of the links that I share with you before, the one that says before you know more, access before you begin access to business license, it tells you how you need to access your SAW account or my DOR account. As always, before registering, you have to create an account. So once you create your account, you can go and file for your business license. Okay. So if we are here, I'm not going to do that, but I want to show you that we can also look up for a business in with the Department of Revenue and see if they have a business license active. So I will do the same example here with Roast House. Motorcycles. Oh. More.
He's asking for the crosswalk.
Oh, crosswalk.
You do the opposite.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ah,
You have one more for
More?
the bike noise. Click.
Yeah, no.
But it has some roads here,
Okay.
so let's try. Ah, thank you. Okay, so there is Roast House. So I click here, and you can see the entity name, the business name, which it should be doing business as, UBI number, then location, mailing address. Then you can see that they have a Spokane General Business endorsement, and it's active. Let me just move this here from here, because you see that it's active since 2012, and they had to renew it before September 30th this year. And same thing, you see the owners and registered trade names. If you have trade names, you use here and register the trade name. What is the thing with Department of Revenue and business licenses? Business licenses are the permit that you need to get from the state or the cities to do businesses in a specific location. For example, they are allowed to do businesses in Spokane County. Let's say you are going to have a food truck and you want to park the food truck some days in Kendall Yards and other days in Little Lake. So you have to have permit to park the food truck in Little Lake and in Spokane County or the city of Spokane, probably it's Spokane County. And you have to pay both endorsements. And you have to renew them. Some cities will give you an endorsement for 1 year, others for 2 years. And some of them will allow you to register online here with the Department of Revenue. Others will not, but doesn't mean that you don't need the permit. You still need to go to the city hall and ask them, hey, I want to park my food truck here. Do I need a permit? Do I need to pay for the endorsement? And they will let you know. So if the city where you want to be, it's not listed here, still go to the city hall and make sure that you don't need that permit. Questions? When you register for your business license, you will register the name, it's $5. You will name that you are the owner. If it's just one owner, it's just one employee, and they will charge you $10. And then you will pay for the different licenses. And it's where you will go and do businesses. So if you're doing, let's say, a manufacturing product, and you will produce cookies, and you will sell cookies, and you will deliver cookies to other cities, you don't need the permit for those cities. It's only where you are doing business physically.
Or they're preparing the product.
Yes, or service. Yes. And then you have to renew your businesses every year or 2 years, and you have to go there and do the same thing. With the Department of Revenue, what you have to do is every quarter or yearly, you have to go there and report your revenues, because you will have to pay taxes from your revenues. Okay.
So every quarter, every 3 months, you'll go to the DOR and fill all the income that you make the last 3 months. And it's gonna calculate it for you. It's very easy step. It's like a 10-minute, but you have to remember, because if you didn't fill it every quarter or every 3 months, put a reminder in your calendar, it's gonna charge you, like if you're late. And after this, our annual report, it's every year under the SOS. So SOS, you're gonna go for SOS, I would say once a year to renew the business license. Every year you have to renew your business license. And every quarter you wanna go to the DOR to fill your income. That's it.
With the Secretary of State, it's the entity.
But like in general, I'm just make it simple for them.
Yes.
So
Okay,
what
okay.
they have to do every quarter or every year.
Yes, you're
So it
right.
can be either one, does have to be every 3 months.
For the DOR, every 3 months. It's like DOR, it's the Washington state following up how you're doing in your business, how much tax we owe
And
you.
your license every year.
For your license is every year.
Right. So what else do we have here? I like to do the wizard here. The business license wizard helps you to find out all the things that you need to follow, or all the steps to follow if you want to start the business. So I want to do an exercise here. Can someone tell me what business activity wants to start or plans to start? Someone? Some volunteer? Go ahead.
Food industry.
And what is specifically a restaurant, a food truck?
Are you sure, Salvador? There you go. You're my guy. You have a strong people.
Fast food, restaurant,
Restaurant,
bar.
something small to start, obviously.
Fast food. Fast food.
It's too fast food. And what is the business structure that you are planning?
Probably on LLC. I don't have those answers still 100%, but that's why we're here.
Are you going to hire employees, adults, minors, adults, no employees,
Most likely it's try
adults?
not to start, but
Mhm.
at some point.
Okay. Let's see, adults. Do you know the address of the business? Not yet. But it's going to be where, in Spokane? So Spokane Valley, Deer Park, where?
More.
Every height need our Italian food.
Airway Heights, Spokane Valley.
That's how.
Like that.
Okay.
Close to us.
I will also add Spokane Valley for us to see how you will see if you choose another place.
Yeah, I'm not firm with that still.
Okay. So this is what you get from the cake. Yes. Yes, cake. So based on your scenario, this is what you have to apply. And before applying for your LLC, go and see your trademark, do a business lookup. If someone has the same name, you have to choose another one. If you have to patent or trademark something, you go there. Then you have your business license, DOR. So you have the trade name, $5. You will have to pay the general endorsement, 13. General business, nonprofits is 3, but you will be general business non-resident if you're not a resident of that city. Then for the Spokane General, also you can do online for Spokane. And the valids here, city approval time not available, contact the city directly for more information. So you cannot do that online. It seems like, so you have to go directly to the city. Yes. And then you will get more information here, more resources for your business activities. And if you want to hire employees, you have to go here. This is the department. You have phone number, you have the websites, you can call them and you can go. So this is the wizard. It helps you to make sure that you are following all the steps and reaching out all the agencies needed to be in compliance when you start your business. And then you can just email that to you and keep the information. Okay. Yes, and then the same thing, we already have seen that. And additional resources here for Spokane Regional Health District. You have Washington Liquor and Cannabis Board website, Department of Agriculture website, Labor and Industries, IRS. And we added 2 more links here. If you want to open a restaurant here in Spokane, they have a roadmap. You go to that website and you can see the roadmap, but always they will recommend you to reach out to them. But this is helpful for plans to succeed, locations, get license, improvements, final prep, because if you are in a location, you have to if you plan on choosing a location, you have to make sure that you are going through the zoning, that you are allowed to sell liquor in the area. So there are some things. So you have access for the city of Spokane and for Spokane Valley too. Do you want to continue with the notes, additional notes?
Sure. So we will make sure that we provide the table that you talked. Right, yeah. And then you'll be able to access the links. We talked about public information, so I think you're aware of that. We talked about the most common entities. So you have that. Ursula covered the DBA and putting that information in. If you opt for a single member LLC, and you don't have employees, you can actually file your tax return with your social security number. I think that the Department of Revenue did not recommend that, but it is, you're able to do that. And then let's see here. I thought one of the comments that was good that was made is it's not a graduation process. And so picking the right legal entity, initially, I would just be thoughtful about that. Otherwise, I think Ursula did a fine job in walking you through everything. And any questions? We're here to help. And so if you.
Like in general, I know that's when I came here and I was starting small catering, everyone around me say, go for LLC, go for LLC. I know the benefit of LLC, but what's the benefit for other like the corporation and this any business actually as a small business, I'm gonna just say for us, a small business with
Or at least for the food industry, which I'm guessing.
Is there
most of us are
any-
in this Food industry. What would you like the most recommended?
So I think the most often selected legal entity would be an LLC. And then whether you have multiple members, so in a limited liability company, they're not called shareholders, they're not called partners, they're called members. So if you're the sole owner, then you could be a single member LLC. If you have multiple owners, then you would be a multi-member LLC.
This is good.
If you
Are
are,
there any real difference if you have one or two? Besides the financial and all that.
so if you have more than one owner, you could not be a single member LLC.
So like, if you wanna open a business with Ricardo or restaurant with Ricardo,
It would be.
and
it's
you're
be a
gonna do-
simple-
yeah, you're gonna do multiple members.
And then the IRS does not recognize a limited liability corporation. So you have to make an election for how you're gonna be taxed. You could be taxed if you're a single member LLC. Most people elect to be taxed as a sole proprietorship, and they file their tax return, their personal income tax return, the LLC activity, the revenue, and the expenses is recorded on a Schedule C that's part of your 1040. Okay. You could also, as an LLC, be elected to be taxed as an S corporation or a partnership. Okay. We don't see that very often, or I don't see that very often here, but it's a subtle kind of thing, but an LLC is not recognized by the IRS, so you have to make your election.
This is great, thank you so much. One more addition, but maybe next time training, the tax, he mentioned really important thing, how do you report it to the tax? I'm pretty sure we have a lot of a question, and I know it's been for the last 4 years, very critical area for the people. They don't wanna go over all, like a big meeting with everyone talking about the taxes and how they file it and any question related to the taxes. They rely on going to accountant 101, and then it's depend about this accountant experience. Many times it's wrong. You know, like as an immigrant law in English, and he go to someone and they fill it for them in a way it satisfy him more than benefit those people. So if there is anything, I would love to get more training for them.
Those conversations also might be easier to have one-on-one.
Yeah,
Because I work with, when I work with a business owner and they have a substantial business, they're generating revenue and profits.
Yeah.
they often look to advisors, and we're not tax experts. I'm not
Yeah.
a tax expert.
Yeah.
But what they will need to do, if you are a limited liability company, okay, you have to pay federal income tax, but you also have to pay social or self-employment tax. And so if you work as an employee, remember looking at your pay stub, this lady here who works for her fees.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so she looks at her pay stub, social security taxes are being withheld for her portion. And then Feast is also paying social security taxes. As a limited liability company, business owner, you have to pay that combined tax, which is 15.3%. That's called self-employment tax on your net income, right? So a business owner needs to be able to plan to understand what their federal income tax liability might be, plus what their self-employment tax liability would be. And the IRS wants you to make quarterly payments toward that throughout the year. So. Any questions about that? Sometimes it's just easier to kind of get a sense of what do you think your revenues will be? What will be your expenses? Okay, you have some, net income. We can kind of give you some guidelines, but I think having somebody look at it, if you start making, tens of thousands of dollars, just so that you're getting your tax liability correct. Anything that you wanted to cover, Tom, that we didn't cover tonight?
Seems good. It's a lot of information, so I know can be a lot to process through. I think this sheet that you have here will be really great for people to review that also as we circulate that around, just so that people can have an intro to be familiar with the process. And things like the wizard seem like a really good tool also for people to use to keep on track of that. But I think you covered a lot. I agree.
The SAW account is a portal. Are you familiar with that word? So when you go on in the state of Washington, they've created the SAW account as a portal because they connect you with basically the regulatory agencies that you have to do business with. And so if you're not sure about, do I need to do my filing? When do I do my filing? The SAW account can give you a good snapshot of where you're at. And then also the lookup features that Ursula did in terms of what's available on the Department of Revenue and the Secretary of State websites.
And I just wanted to highlight that if you need help registering, the first half of the registration, we can help you in 1 hour. So it's not more than that. You don't have to pay anyone to help you with that. We can do that, and it's for free. And the second part for the licenses, once you have your UBI, it's another offer that we can do together. So it's really easy, and once you understand all the processes, it makes things easier. So you don't have to go through the websites alone. We can help you.
So Scott or Ursula, let's say someone gets their business registered, they get their EIN number, they get their business license, what do you think the natural next step? On what they should do or look into would be?
Open their business account.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's next? You open business account with the bank, next. What's next? You're gonna do a restaurant, what you gonna do? So like the DOR, it's like you got your business license and now you have the big umbrella that you can do under many things under this umbrella. So you have your business license, you wanna open a restaurant, you're gonna start
Then for
communicating with the health department to
Yeah.
get
food service, you're
Food
gonna have to
permit.
reach out to the
I would say
Kane County.
restaurant didn't work with you the first year and you decide to move it to a catering. It's the same entity, but different step inside it.
And I think I would also ask before you create your legal entity, I think it would be helpful for you to have a business plan and a basic understanding of what I would call a proof of your business model. And that is, who are your ideal customers? How much volume, how many patients or how many patrons are you gonna serve? What is gonna be your average ticket or transaction price? Just so on paper, you have kind of an understanding of what the volume will be required for you to be financially successful. Figuring out your expenses, that's pretty straightforward. But the real question is, will you be able to reach the revenue volume that you need to be successful? And doing that kind of analysis up front, I think is really, it's helpful in two ways. One, it gives you a plan, financial plan, and two, I think it emotionally, it allows you to get comfortable with what you're doing. And if you're comfortable with the assumptions that you're making in your business plan, then it should go more smoothly for you and less stressful. And that's helping.
Yeah, I would start with that before creating the entity with the business plan and prove that your product will be well received. Do some financials or knowing your break-even point, how many plates you will have to serve. And after that, if you feel that you can move forward, then you list all the licenses and requirements and all the permits and certifications you have to go through. And then when you're ready, you go and create the entity because it's the last thing. Yeah, I would say that, and planning is, I run coffee shop. I run a coffee shop chain with 21 stores. And my success was planning ahead. So once you plan, you feel more comfortable with the decisions that you're making. So, yeah.
Do you have an example for business plan that you can share it with this?
We-
Like a sample, you know, so they
Yes.
just have an idea.
Yeah,
Sorry, what a good tool, I don't know if we when we cook at least at feast that we got our report, our net profit, how many items we sold, how many plates or dishes. I mean, that's a way that at least I use to kind of average how much you're selling a day, or how many entrees, how many desserts, and how much profit you're making, because you know how much money you're investing and how much profit you're making. I mean, that's a good tool and a proof to show, like, I mean, this is what I can do.
So the business plan is not you wanna approve something for anyone, it's a plan for yourself to be successful in the business. Like I would say, it could be helpful, but it's nothing related to your business. Most of the customer for fees, they come in because they wanna support immigrants. And this is the target for Feast. We target people like this is that, like when we're talking about business plan, when we did the business plan for Feast, the target was
Yeah, cause I think your plan is obviously gonna
It's-
include like.
that your business is successful. For example, I'll give you my business. Food industry, I told myself, okay, there is a lack of healthy food in Spokane. I want to target the people who want to eat healthy. So this is how I start, like, this is what the target that I put in my mind, and I build the whole things around it. And the same thing, that's, hey, you want to think, okay, there is 5-6 Italian food outside in Spokane. What's gonna make you successful? What are you gonna choose special things for Italian cuisine to make it successful? Makes sense?
We have a business plan template. And I refer my clients, the marketing segment is the most important component of the business plan.
It's really hard.
What makes your restaurant different? Why would somebody want to have a meal at your place versus somewhere else? Who is your ideal customer? How are you positioning yourself? So her differentiation she was describing was healthy food. So she was positioning that way. And she gave an example, I think, of Italian restaurants and the number
Or
of.
what kind of?
Like in general, like that is just kind of an example. You can target the same customers, but with something,
Option.
yeah.
But that would be part of the business plan. What Feast provides you in terms of your number of entrees sold, desserts sold, and the figures ascribed to that? That is helpful for you to put into your financial projection when you're building out your revenue.
Big purpose loan type of things, like that's the type of proof that you say, like, I mean, this is at least what I can do there.
But it's limited to obviously what your fees are through Feast and how you're pricing them,
Yeah.
right?
So it's helped you to build up credits. It's helped
At
me.
least you have something as well.
Yeah, like-
I'm here and.
You can start with the whole process and the income you make it as fee under your business name to build bank history,
It's
you
like
know, like, hey, that's your business account is already been active and.
I think we can stop the recording, Artem.
Okay, sounds good. I will go ahead and stop it.